Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is another tour of a single species park. As you can see, we're on Penna during the day and it's sandbox, so we don't really have to worry about it too much, but I have had to enable invincible vehicles because I've already run through this tour once and a little bit of smoke coming out of the Jeep. So let's get right to it. We're going to tour it with the Range Jeep. And I don't know why I just did that. And I don't do that either, oh my god. What you'll find out soon enough is exactly which single species this is. It is the wonderful, the cute, the tiny, the compact cuteness that is Sinoceratops. Now, they're fairly well behaved when you drive through them. Better than the Triceratops, put it that way. Couldn't be much worse. But they can sometimes get a little bit spooked. Oop, careful, I remember where I put all the gates. There are several enclosures, but not too many. I'll show you the stats in a minute of how many dinosaurs we've actually got, because I can't remember. It's a 5-star park, which I aim to do with all of my single species park. That Sinoceratops is coming straight here. Let's go, shall we? It took a bit of doing to get it there, but you'll notice that I did use the paleobotany system to up the rating slightly, just so that we could get to the single species 5-star rating over this way. As you can see, that's a bit of a guest area. I'll have a look at that when we come back, and we'll just take a bit of a tour of this enclosure, which is, they're all pretty much comparable apart from one's much bigger. As you can see, it's got a bit of undulation going on, some nice water features, and a lot of Sinoceratops. I love how we're just skidding down the hill. The handbrake on these Jeeps, absolutely awful. It doesn't actually stop. So, there are a very large mixture of skins, but obviously with the amount that you need to override the single species penalty, you just gotta do them all, otherwise you can never get that 5-star. So that's the first enclosure. It's not too big. It's got a few Sinoceratops in here. I can't remember how many. We'll count that when we look at the map. It's probably about 20, I would have thought. 2 viewing platforms, and then the standard 3 shops: restaurant, clothes shop, arcade. And then on the way out we pass the restroom and plough through all these people and on to the next enclosure. Next enclosure is the smallest one. It's just a little one that I snuck in because I needed more dinosaurs to up the rating, but I was getting a bit concerned about how many there were in each enclosure because it was getting a bit ridiculous. There are only 4 in this particular enclosure. Look at that, look how cute is that. Adorable. Yeah, I was getting a bit concerned with how many I'd need to get to the 5 stars, and if it would be absolutely impossible to do a tour. But I got there in the end. I could have just let these fall in this enclosure we're going into now. It is the biggest enclosure there is, on obviously the biggest section of the island there is, if you remember. If you've done it rather in the campaign, you'll know that this is the bottom of the island. Now for some reason they don't really congregate around this particular part of this enclosure very often, and I don't know why. There's more of them here now than there has been. Careful. Yeah, generally speaking there isn't even this many in was half the enclosure though. I had to stick to the other side and I don't know why. I'll take you around there. Mind those tails. One of the other things I've also added to these enclosures, rocks, trees, so that added scenery bonus, because every little point helps. This is one of the rather busier sections. For some reason, I presume it's because of the viewing areas and there's that many people, it just attracts the dinosaurs because they do seem to congregate around here more than anywhere else, even though there are viewing galleries on the other sides. So who knows what the AI is doing really. Oh shit, be careful. Oh, we are going to get stuck. This is just as bad. No, it's not just as bad as driving through the Struthy Park. That one was a nightmare. I'm going to get charged in a minute. I'm not careful. Might have to do a bit of manoeuvring. See if we can squeak in before the turn. No, no. 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 Oh, I'm seeing a gap. Go to the water. There's a rock. Oh, the rock. Paddle through the water at snail's pace. Right, here we go. That's better. This is the central area, which we'll go through in a moment. This enclosure is basically just a giant sort of horseshoe shape, and I really do hate that we can't drive through the trees. Where's the edge of the... Whoa! Yep, I didn't want to nearly drive into you either, mate. Don't worry about it. Just move. There we go. Right. Yeah, so it's a big horseshoe shape basically. It goes all the way around the central guest area. Obviously the biggest guest area of the park. So it's fairly busy over here. Lots of people to plough through. 2 hotels down here. There's another hotel at the top near the entrance. One viewing gallery. 2 platforms, and there's paths that go round both hotels, and there's a viewing gallery either side, so it's kind of symmetrical. It's not actually symmetrical. In terms of actual buildings, it's symmetrical, but so I don't know why they prefer one side of the enclosure to the other. Right, we're going to go back up to the top and go and look at our last enclosure. The first enclosure I built, actually, I don't know why, I didn't have much of a plan when I came into this. When I started building, I didn't even know what I was going to put in here. I decided on the Sinoceraptops because I do like it. It's very cute. Here we come down to another guest area. Plough through some people. A lot of people down here because there's another area just over this route. I think I'm getting better at driving, but that just could be my imagination. Over that door. Over the humps. Try and stick to the wall. Cut through. Take a break. Right, here's the last enclosure. Full of Antistruthiums and full of Sinoceratops. Just scoop the water feature. There's a larger water feature in this one for some reason, just because I fancy doing it, I think. Got that scenery bonus and the paleobotany feeders everywhere. Obviously if I was building a proper park, I wouldn't only fill it with one thing, and I wouldn't put this many... Wait! Ooh, flipping out. Okay. I wouldn't put this many in an enclosure, because it's just daft, isn't it? I mean, I know obviously there's bound to be some zoos somewhere. There's no problem doing it. Not how I run my parks. Not how I'd run a zoo either, to be frank. Let's scoot back through here. Take a left. Up through the gate. Careful. Missed the gate. Try and go backwards, not hit reverse. There we go. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So that's the main enclosure of the park. Now I'll take you to the last guest area, which is all at the top of the island, and you can watch me drive through all these people. Careful. Right, not too many people coming up here, or there shouldn't be, because there's nothing up here for them. Just take another glance at the Sinoceraptops. Don't they look adorable? Can't see anything because of the thing. Anyway, that's what would be great in the next game, wouldn't it? Visibility through fences, but it's not going to happen, unfortunately. Right, so I had to put this path down here because I tried to drive up here earlier on and I'd covered it with trees. That did not end well. I wrecked the Jeep basically. Right, here is the fancy path area with the first hotel, the entrance, 3 main buildings and the monorail. So, that was the Jeep tour. Let me show you an overview of the park. Entrance, Paleobotany Greenhouse, exhibit number 1, exhibit number 2. I called this little tiny one here exhibit number 3, the big horseshoe one, all the way around, and last but not least this one over here, which is, like I said, the first one I built. Views are okay from up here, just about ish. We're not really overly bothered. Let's have a look at the map. So, as you can see, a lot of Sinoceratops, like a lot. Have a look at the star rating. So you can see we've got 106 Sinoceratops right now, with a dinosaur rating of 5,132. Because of that massive variety penalty, you can't just say, oh well, each Sinoceratops is worth about 11 once you add 111 once you add the paleobotany and the scenery bonus. So you're only going to need about 50. Yeah, no, not with the variety penalty like that. You just have to keep going. You always have to top that 5,000 rating. So you just got to keep an eye on your score and just keep hammering away at it. Everything else is kind of alright. The visibility is not great. I think mainly it's just because they move a lot, and obviously this exhibit down here is only visible when the train goes past it. There's a few gaps here and there which generally I don't like to do, but Penn's such a small island, you don't have much of a choice. Anyway, so that's it. Poor variety, unsurprisingly, but good for everything else. It took a little while to do this, not too long. It's not as bad as the Struthiomimus Park. I had my hatchery in here. I used one hatchery. Did the central layout afterwards, and just made this enclosure that bit bigger. So here's the guest areas. You know, I start out trying to create path work that looks okay, and in the end it degenerates into whatever this is. Have a look at that. Who's walking on that? Absolutely nobody. Taking a selfie the wrong way around with the dinosaurs in front of you. Yep, you do that, mate. People like ants, obviously. A lot of the facilities are being used, but not overly so. There's not enough guests in there. How many guests have we got total? 5,000 guests. I wasn't nearly as many guests as there are dinosaurs. In terms of rating. Right. So that was my single species Sinoceratops park on Penna. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what single species park I should do next. so I don't have to pick it again, because it took me at least half an hour to decide what I was going to put in this bloody park. So yeah, short and sweet. See you again next time. Ta-ra!